Hey, what's up guys? My name is Brandon and today I'm going to do a walk around of my Trail Boss Overland rig. This is a 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500 and I've done some of these videos before, but it was a few years ago, so I figured it was time for an update. Let's talk about what truck this is. It's the 5.3 liter V8 engine in Southern California where I purchased this truck. That was the only engine available at that time, and this is the Trail Boss version. Although, as you'll see in this video, I changed a lot of things, modified a lot of things. There's not really much left on it that's Trail Boss. I made this truck to go overlanding. It's a truck for camping with my family. It's pretty capable off-road, but most of the time we do our camping at a campground like we are at today. There's fire pits here. This is a designated camping spot with bathrooms and stuff, showers. But I did build the truck to go more primitive or dispersed camping, if you will. Let's actually look at what I've done to it and check it out. So a lot of people ask me about the wheels and tires setup and the suspension setup on this truck. The Trail Boss comes with a 2-inch lift, but I went with a, I would say, kind of budget option, which was the Rough Country brand. You know, I'm not an off-road snob. I'm not taking this thing in the desert and hitting whoops and jumping this thing all 4 tires off the ground. So for me, I mostly wanted some clearance. I wanted some bigger tires that look cool, and I just wanted to try and fit the biggest tires I could fit on this truck and give myself a little more clearance. So it's not the most performance oriented lift and suspension setup, but I've had it for 4 years now and I've had no complaints, no issues, no broken control arms. I will talk about it a little bit if we come up to the front here. This Rough Country lift is a 4-inch lifted strut. I don't know if you can see it if you can come in here. It's an entire strut assembly, so it comes with the shocks, the coils, and the whole bracket system underneath here. I didn't change the upper control arms. These are the stock upper control arms, but they are perfectly level and they articulate just fine. Like I said, I've had this lift for 4 years now. I take it off-roading and go camping pretty regularly, and I've had no issues with this lift thus far. This tie rod right here will rub on the inside of your tire if you don't have enough back spacing. So a lot of times you'll have to change out your rims and tire setup when you go with this bigger lift here. So with that lift, you will need the proper back spacing so that your rims and tires don't rub on the tie rod or the brake calipers. I went with the MVX 17-inch rims, and these are 37 by 12.5-inch tires. I did need to use a 1-inch spacer just to give me a little more clearance. It's just one of the things about the tie rods and the brake calipers on here. The only way to really stuff 37s on a truck like this is a long travel suspension setup from like King or Icon that's, you know, 10K plus suspension setup. So this suspension setup, probably about $2,000. Install it. If you install it yourself, that's all you're gonna spend. Maybe another $1,000 if you get it installed at a shop. So I was able to stuff some pretty nice rim and tire setup on here, and I'm pleased with it. Like I said, I've had this setup for 4 years now. Everything's good, nothing's squeaking. Everything is nice with this Rough Country suspension. I've been pretty satisfied so far. All right, let's move along right here, I guess, since we're right next to these. I wouldn't say they're rock sliders, but they are Nerf Bars. They're bolted in to the frame. Nothing's welded on there, but I wanted something low profile, and it gives me a lot of clearance, and they kind of replicate a slider. And they definitely give me some protection under the undercarriage. These are from NFAB. I believe they're called the RKR rockers. I'm gonna put links to everything in the description below, you guys. If you wanna check it out, go ahead and check it out. So we'll move around to the back. The first thing that most people notice on the truck is my camping setup in the rear. This is a Putco bed rack, and this just plugs into the stake pockets on your truck, and you bolt it on. It's all bolted on. And then it has these plates and these little modular accessories that you can add to it. So I put the plates on here with the roto packs. I usually carry some extra gas, or if I'm going on a longer trip and I get stranded, I'll have some gas. And then on top is the iCamper Rooftop Tent. This opens up to a king size bed, so my wife and my 2 kids, we can all fit up there. So actually it opens up like this, folds out, the ladder comes down, and then we can climb up and sleep in there. So that's usually the first question everyone asks me, dude, what's on your truck bed? And I explain to them it's a rooftop tent. But if you're watching this video, you're probably already interested in overlanding. You know about that. So this is a hard shell. It's an iCamper. It's kind of a pricier rooftop tent. I'm not gonna lie, when I bought it, I thought we were going to be camping every single weekend, going in the middle of nowhere and using it all the time. If you're someone that camps maybe 5 or 6 times a year, try and find something a little more budget friendly. I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting such an expensive rooftop tent unless you're seriously going out every single weekend. Some other things I have attached to this Putco rack is a Waterport water source. I believe this is the 3.8 gallon. It's enough for like 2 or 3 days. If you can come around here and you can see that. Ignore the fishing stuff on here. We're gonna go fishing after we film this video here. This one right here, this is the Waterport. I have it attached on the inside of the bed rack. So yeah, the tonneau cover right here, it's a roll and lock tonneau cover. It basically just rolls onto the truck. I was able to adapt it so that it fits with the Putco bed rack. I don't have like a dedicated drawer system. I haven't fully committed to that quite yet, just because A, it's expensive, and B, I use this truck as a truck. Just this past week, I've gone to the dump, I think 4 or 5 times. We're kind of doing some spring cleaning at home, and I actually use it as a truck. So I put the tonneau cover all the way up. I had a rocking chair, I had all kinds of stuff, and this thing was fully loaded, and I've carried a lot in here. So I haven't committed to making a drawer system in here yet, just because it'll eliminate a lot of space and I won't be able to fit as much stuff and haul as much stuff in there. You can see along the sides though, I do have these molly panels. These are also made by Putco, and those are pretty cool as I can hold some stuff on there. I got like a shovel, an axe on that side, a fire extinguisher, a bottle jack. It's just a way to kind of stay organized and keep things tidy along the sides of the bed. And then otherwise, when we're camping, really my drawer system are just these tubs. I don't know what you call them, cases, tubs. We just slide them in and out. We're doing a very short trip, so we only have 1 tub, some propane tanks, but basically that's our drawer system, is just these tubs right here. Oh, I guess we're here on the back. We'll talk about the exhaust. This is a MagnaFlow Street Series. They do have an Overland series, but it's only for the 6.2 liter engine. So one cool thing about the MagnaFlow Overland version, the one that I don't have, the tips are kind of hidden underneath and they give you just a little bit more clearance. The Street Series is black, which I think it looks badass and it sounds really good. I have a video for an install I did on all this stuff on my channel. You can check some of those videos out if you're interested. Got a Factor 55 hook right here if I need to get towed out of somewhere, I get stuck. We'll keep moving around this side. Max tracks, you know, in case you get stuck. Most of the Overlanders are using those in the desert. Those are expensive, the actual Max tracks, but you can get a no-name version that is not quite as expensive. Let's go to the front, I guess. I did an antenna delete where instead of having that big whip antenna, just removed it and put a little stubby on right here. Again, I'll have a link for all that stuff in the description below. And then in the front, I have this mean grill they call the Grumper. It's a grill and a front bumper. It's all steel. It's actually really heavy, so it added quite a bit of weight to my truck. But basically, it provided me an access point to install this winch. And it's a little higher clearance that helps fit those tires on there as well. So I have rigid light pods on. Those are my fog light replacements. And then this is the worn winch. I don't know if you can see it. I believe it's the 12,000 Evo S synthetic rope. I don't think I've actually even used it to rescue myself, but I've helped get other people unstuck that were buried in sand or in the snow. So this thing is rescued other people and it's been pretty handy for me. I just saw a crazy video on Instagram. I'll try and find it and post it for you guys, where this guy was using a winch hook and he winched it, something snapped and it flew through his window and hit him in the face. And I work at a trauma center and I see a lot of GSWs and traumas where people get shot in the face. And this guy's face looked like he just got blasted with this winch hook. So this is the Factor 55. It's supposed to be the world's safest winch hook. It is not going to break. It has like a double safety on here so that when it hooks onto something, it locks into place. So this is kind of a premium winch hook. This is Factor 55. Man, I saw that video and that scared the bejesus out of me. So I got this Factor 55 winch hook on it. This thing is just a extended range antenna for my GMRS radio that I have inside the truck. The truck is pretty dirty, I apologize, but just a quick walk around and you guys can see this stuff. You guys have the radio set up right here on the dash. RAM mount for my phone. Patches, Overland patches. You're not really overlanding unless you got patches up there. Just kidding. To store food, I have a Dometic CF35, I believe it is. Keep it between here, between these two aftermarket car seats. Got two small children, so they're in the car seats here. But yeah, I have a Jackery 1000, power the fridge with that. And I didn't bring them with us for this trip, but I have two 200-watt solar panel charging stations that can charge that. You know, when you plug that thing into the wall, it inverts about 170 watts. So if you have two 200-watt solar panels, I can keep that thing charged indefinitely, power that fridge, power my laptop, cameras, and everything I need, and stay pretty much off grid and stay self-sustained with that solar power unit. So really that's what I use for food and keeping it cold, and for power. A little first aid kit, always have that thing ready to go. As far as future plans for the truck, there's not a whole lot that I absolutely need. You really don't need anything to go overlanding. As long as you have somewhere to sleep, you have food, you have water, you can go camping anywhere in any vehicle, right? Just every time you go, you find things to make it a little more convenient, a little more creature comforts. Things I might add in the future is a drawer system in the back just to stay organized. One thing that I would really like to get, but it's just expensive and it's kind of a not super critical that I get it, is a spare tire carrier in the back. You can either get a aftermarket bumper and attach it that way, or you can get a company that attaches through the hitch. And then you can have a full, 37-inch spare tire on the back that opens up. It has a table attached to it, but these things are pretty pricey. And to be honest with you, it's not that important, but that is something that would be cool to add to the truck. I think that would be kind of the chef's kiss to finalize the Overland rig. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think of the truck. If you found this video entertaining, hit the thumbs up button, feed that algorithm, hit subscribe, and I'll check you guys on the next video. I hope you're having a great year. Get outside, stay hydrated, and keep on moving.